All right, super excited today. I am going to be catching up with one of my former high school students 2 years after graduating. She is making such great strides in the medical community. Her name is Amber. And so I am going to be bringing onto the stage Amber, catching up with her. Amber!
Hey, Sunita.
How are you
Ooh,
doing?
I am doing great. And I'm so glad that you invited me on.
Yeah. You know what I love to? You were the first one that says, no, it's not Miss Tanita, it's TT. And so I was like, that's right. I am a TT. I am an auntie. I am really technically an auntie, but I could be everybody's auntie too.
You
I
was
don't
on TT too, and I made that known.
Amber, I'm so proud of you. Graduating STEM lady, future doctor, biology major like myself, but with a pre-med track.
Mm-hmm.
So impressive.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you've just graduated December of 21,
Mhm.
and you're in the medical field,
I am.
and you're going to be taking off and taking the MCAT soon. We're going to dive into that. Um, but it's just so many different things about you that I think that a lot of people can resonate. You're a leader. You have such a great interest in STEM. You are a fantastic daughter and big sister.
I am.
And you have so many passions. So we're going to dive into all of those. But before we go into them, I wanted to just talk about some takeaways that I've learned from you as just you being in my presence. Because as I was an educator and it was like a student um, teacher type relationship, mentor, I still gain so many things from students and I learn. One thing is you just got to keep pushing. I learned that. Like I that just you reiterated that to me. Keep on pushing because regardless, I mean, you were constantly always striving to keep going and pushing your boundaries and moving forward. And that was just refreshing to just constantly have that as a reminder. Keep pushing. Not only that, but your dedication and your commitment and hard work. I love that about you. We first met as you being an intern
Mhm.
and just to see how your working style, I was like, this is a throwback Gen Xer. With your working style, I mean, you did not, if we said Amber do this or Amber do that, you always rose to the that's you always rose to the occasion. So that's what I took away is that all is not lost in this generation because I'm
Mhm.
seeing it right here. I'm seeing a future leader right here. And wait a minute, you are a leader because you were leading your peers.
Mhm.
Okay? And they knew you were leading them.
I had to.
Okay.
I had to.
Oh
But
my
you
goodness.
guys, honestly, you guys just made me want to be a leader. And I
Oh.
know you said that you take away those things from me, but y'all were the symbolism. Like, if you want to see change, then you have to be a part of it. And you have to keep striving for it. You can't sit in the background. There's one thing to like discuss, like, oh, well, this could be better and this could be better, but actually just participating in, speaking up for yourself and speaking up for others because everybody doesn't have that like initiative to, because some people are just reserved and that's just what it is.
Mhm.
But if you do have that voice and you can speak for others, you should.
You should,
You
and you
should.
do have a voice,
Mhm.
and right, why should we be bystanders, right?
Exactly.
Just watching things happen and I mean, sometimes I just feel like you just as guilty, you know it's wrong. Just
Just like
say,
the
"Look,
people that record. Just like when you pull out that phone and you record a crime or you just want something to put on social media or show your friends, you are part of the problem.
you are. You are. You have to say, this does not need to happen. This is not fair. Let's use our voice
Mhm.
to say stop, you know?
Absolutely.
And you're
Yes.
right. Spectators.
You can't. You gotta be in the field, play the game. Okay?
Play the game
If
for
you wanna
real.
win.
If you want to win,
You win.
and we winning over here,
We
Amber.
are winning W after W, okay?
We are winning, which leads me to my next question for you. Um, Amber, you just excel, and I know some things may not come easy to you, but we will never know because you are going to always push through
Mhm,
and do your thing.
mhm,
Can you talk to me about your educational journey? What are some key things that stuck out to you going from high school to college?
mhm. Well, that was a big transition for me because, going from high school, I think my high school was diverse, but the Black population was the lowest population. And I was just so head set on going to HBCU. I wanted to go to a HBCU so bad. I loved it. Even one of our other peers, Corey, he went to a HBCU. And I mean, he was just brandishing it everywhere. He's like, HBCU, HBCU, you need to go.
Mhm.
Yes. So I started doing my own research. And I was like, I didn't know that much in high school about HBCUs, which was crazy because even in our junior years when we were doing like the ACT and applying for college, they did not push HBCUs on us. So it was something that if you wanted to do that, you would have to go and look for that yourself. Because I
Mhm.
didn't even know it was a thing until I started talking to other people and they're telling me about it. So I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, they have historically Black colleges. I'm like, let me look into this. Because at first I'm like, okay, I could just stay in state, probably go to a college that my mom went to, my dad went to. But then I'm like, if I had this opportunity, why not? Like, why
Mhm.
not experience it? So going to Howard was amazing. I love the
Mhm.
culture. I love the education. I love the social aspect. Just
Mhm.
being surrounded by your people, it's like a breath of fresh air because not only are you surrounded by your people, but they're still from all different walks of life. And
Mhm.
you learn so much. And I just love just the ambiance and the environment. Um,
Mhm.
it was great stepping into that transition from college. It definitely was academically, you had to buckle down, okay? Because it's not like high
Mhm.
school. I'm not gonna lie, high school did come a little easy. I was just
Mhm.
doing what I had to do. But you do have to buckle down when you go to college and you want to obviously go out, talk to friends, have fun, but you gotta lock into those books. You
Mhm.
have to. So it's all about discipline at the end of the day because we're all going to college for a purpose. We all have the careers and the passions that we want to achieve. So we can't be blindsided by, the parties and going this, staying out late. Oh my gosh, finals test coming up. You can't do that. Okay. You need a balance. You need a good balance. And that's the one thing I did learn. You have to be able to discipline yourself. And once I went to Howard, it was hard because hey, you wanted to be outside, didn't you? But you still had to be like, okay, girl, I can't come out tonight. I need to study. I'll see y'all later. Y'all go have fun and be safe.
That is fantastic. I mean, wow. I love to hear it because I'm an HBCU grad and,
Mhm.
I rep my school. And I always say that's the only college that I truly rep, but I do rep other HBCUs. And you touched on one point that I think we don't see so much in Chicago because we don't see a lot of there aren't historically Black colleges in the Midwest. I think there may be one in Ohio, but down the eastern and southern,
Yeah.
southern areas and the eastern seaboard, you do see the majority of historically Black colleges. And,
Mhm.
you know, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Nobody's really checking for HBCUs in the Midwest because they don't see it. They
Exactly.
didn't grow up hearing the band. They didn't grow up seeing all of these HBCU alums with just all of their sweatshirts, like, look where I went, I was blessed to see all of that growing up and, um, living near Fayetteville State and hearing their band. Fantastic. Hey, look, I knew when it was time for dinner because the Fayetteville State band was playing, and by the end of it, I go, "Okay, it's time to eat." My mom's
Mhm.
finished cooking, I hear this band out here playing. It was just wonderful. Attending parades, so it's just fantastic. It's just excellence
The
all
culture is
all
amazing.
absolutely. And so, what made you decide to major in biology, pre-med track?
Okay, so STEM really started out, what's crazy for me is science fairs. A lot of kids don't like science fairs, but I love them because you that was the one time in school where you can actually choose what you wanted to focus on and what you wanted to learn. So when I did science fairs, I took advantage of it and I learned about things that I was actually interested in. So once I had that flexibility, like, okay, school isn't all about just like this strict curriculum, because a lot of people think like, okay, we just learn the same stuff over and over and blase go through the motions. But it's like, it was kind of like a reflection of what college is, because you're choosing your major and you're choosing something that
Mm.
you're interested in. So when I was like, okay, I like this, and then when I started to delve deeper into like, anatomy and the heart rate, like I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to do medicine. So as time went on, and I started even doing my own research outside of school and learning things for myself, because I have this tendency to not just believe what people tell me. So even when it came to like when teachers would teach us certain things, I'd be, that don't sound right. So I would go back and look for
Good.
myself, because they could tell us anything in school.
Mhm.
They could tell us anything they want. And if you are not willing to double check or fact check, then they're going to keep it going. And that's just what you're going to believe for the rest of your life if you never go and look for yourself.
That's true. It's kinda like you taking accountability for your learning. You want to, check on it and say, "Let me just make sure that this is correct." And yeah, I really do think that's awesome. And you internally are motivated to do that yourself.
Mhm.
That's even
Yes.
better. Some things that sometimes people don't really have a clue and they support, but if they look up the research, they look for themselves, they'll see why some things that you eat or you support or you do, where those things resonate from.
Mhm.
If you just take a moment to do some extra research. So
Yeah.
I love that.
That, I mean, it's another point that I had with that, just like with the news too. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, this is something that's national. Everybody has access to the news. Anybody could watch the news.
Mhm.
And there's been times where they'll put out stories and even the reporters don't have all the facts. And then it will be like, okay, we got to come back later and correct what we told y'all. And it's just like, dang, you can't even trust the news.
Yeah. You know what? I watched the news one day and I said, "You know what? A lot of news reporters put their opinions in the
Yeah.
news." Like, there was at one point where I didn't see a lot of that when as I was really, really young, but now I gotta hear your opinion. I thought we were reporting on the news of what happened,
Mhm.
not your opinion.
You're supposed to be unbiased,
Thank
but
you.
it honestly depends on what channel you watch. You know what you're gonna get. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just like, I don't wanna hear all these opinions. Just report on the news.
Yeah, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. Give me the facts, okay?
Let's get to the meat and the potatoes. I love it. Oh my goodness. So, as you have, graduated with your major, with your degree in biology, pre-med, what are your next steps in your educational journey?
Mhm. Currently studying for the MCAT, locking in with that, because I did take 2 years between my graduation date and now, honestly, to enjoy my life, just because I've been in school for so long, that consistency, you take that 3-month summer break, you get right back into it, fall, winter, spring, and then it's like, okay, I graduated, let me just breathe a little. And that's what I did. I'm like, I know what I want to do with my life. I know that I have that discipline. When I'm ready to go back to, once I get back in it, I'm back in that motion. But I'm going to take this time to, one, get to learn me a little bit more. And two, find other things that I enjoy outside of education, because that is a major part of my life. But I don't want that to engulf me, because I don't want to be one-dimensional, especially going into medicine. I see there's a lot of like physicians and providers that don't know how to talk to people, that can't have a conversation. I understand they're your patients. You got to get down to business, got to treat them. But they are people at the end of the day, and they want to be seen and feel heard. And you can go in there and have a conversation with your patient and talk to them and make them feel welcome. It doesn't have to be strictly like, boom, 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 we got to get straight to it. Like, make them want to come see the doctor, because a lot of people are afraid to get checkups, afraid to go to the hospital, afraid of like previous experiences that they had in healthcare. So I think we need a lot more like physicians and people in healthcare that are people persons, like they know how to talk to people to make them feel comfortable. So yeah, right now I'm just locking in with studying. I'm taking the MCAT in January, and then after that I'm applying. So I feel really strong and really confident about my course right now. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I love it, because I know you're going to really do well. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the day you tell me where you have decided to attend medical school. And you're right. The bedside manner is not where it needs to be. You have to talk with patients and not at patients. And, I know I've shared my experiences with you, but there was an anesthesiologist and she didn't have any good bedside manner. And I told her, I said, this is one thing to make mistakes and know what you're doing. It's another to have bad bedside manner, make mistakes, and then think you know what you're doing. I should tell her that. Girl, get with some bedside.
I know it was like,
Like, get some good bedside manners. Like, where are we, people? And we need more individuals like you to go into the medical field and be passionate about providing great quality service.
Yeah.
We really do. So I'm excited about that. And kudos for taking time off, Amber. You are all about education. But I love it. Yes. So wait a minute. So what are you diving into with your passions?
Well, one thing that I'm starting to really get the hang of now is fitness. So I've been going to the gym 4 days a week. I just upped it to 5. Because I really just want to get back in shape and be healthy overall. And I'm starting to really enjoy the gym. I'm starting to lift weights.
Really?
I was doing that before. I'm in there deadlifting. I'm in there squatting. Like, yes, TZ, I'm getting them muscles. Yes, I'm getting them muscles up. Okay. Summer 2024, I'm coming for you. Like, I'm like, no, that's something that I thoroughly enjoy. And, at first it was difficult because you got to get out the house, drive to the gym, lock in at the gym. And I know a lot of people, when they first go there, it's kind of like a weird environment because you don't know if you're doing something right. You don't know if you're using the machine right. You got to set up your regimen. It's a big learning curve when it comes to that. Because you can be in the gym for 2 years and not see any progression if you don't know what you're doing.
That is so true.
Yes. So I love working out. I've been getting into nutrition a lot more, learning about that. And, that's something that you have to lock down on too, because a lot of people try to outwork a bad diet, but That's, trying to get right. 75% of it is your diet. You have to be eating right, so that's one thing that I just love to do now, in my free time. At first, I just like going to the gym, lifting weights. I ain't trying to look like the Hulk, but now it's just like, okay, I like this. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good once I'm done. I love it.
That is awesome. And you just dropped a one-liner, outwork a bad diet. I'm going to put that on there and I'm going to say Amber, quote Amber, okay? Wow, outwork a bad diet. And you're right. And, we do need to definitely work out and move our body, move more. And sometimes I'm guilty of that. And sometimes I do get bored in the gym. I just need to make sure that I walk my dog a little bit more. Thank you for this reminder. See, I'm telling you, the pushing, like you start talking, I'll be like, ooh, you're right. Ooh, you drop that gym. Got to go back to it.
Got to.
Wow. So the gym and nutrition. Oh, so what are you creating? I mean, what are you eating more of now these days?
So one thing I'm trying to do is chef it up in that kitchen. Okay. I gotta start cooking more and more. I've been looking up recipes. The other day I had made a stuffed salmon, on a bed of vegetables. I'm sauteing. I'm starting to learn, like, there's a lot of vegetables out there that we don't even know about. I was just like, hold on, it's more to it than some broccoli and carrots. Okay.
It really is some good stuff out there.
I've always liked vegetables, but when you add your own little flair to it, season it up real good, vegetables are banging. Like, they are good. Yes. I love vegetables. I love them. Now, you would have caught me fat years ago. Maybe, I wouldn't be saying all this, but now I love it. I love seafood too, bake and grill a lot. And just, when you realize, like, when you read nutritional labels and actually educate yourself on them, when you go out, they put so much unnecessary things in this food that they give us. And you wonder why you just get 2 things from McDonald's and it's 1,500 calories.
Yes.
And still be hungry.
Still
because there is no
empty calories.
It's empty calories. I mean, the majority of it is carbs and fat. So you're not filling up on it. Your body doesn't want it or need it. And then you eat that 1,500 then, and you probably gonna eat another 2,000 later. So you wonder why
that's over. You done went over the limit then, because
they don't include no snacks.
Oh, they don't include no snacks.
They don't include no snacks. And once you start really reading these labels, you're like, okay, I'm overeating. You don't even realize it. So when you start cooking at home and simplifying these ingredients, all of that extra filler gets taken out, and you feel better afterwards. You do.
Really do. You really do.
Your body's gonna love you for it.
I just recreated a fish sandwich from McDonald's myself.
You did?
I got me some wild-caught cod from Whole Foods and their brioche bun. Ooh. I made my own tartar sauce.
Okay.
And I slapped a little 1 slice of that sharp cheddar cheese. I said, never again will I be ordering this from McDonald's. Never.
I love me a good brioche.
So you're right. I know where everything came from and the ingredients, and it just made me feel better, and it was much more tastier.
Yeah, because they're not giving you quality at these places, because they have to mass produce. At the end of the day, it's all about quantity versus quality. So if they say, hey, we can give y'all the cheapest of the cheap and put out millions of it, we're gonna profit off of it. Why would we give you anything more? And y'all still buying it.
Still buying it.
Still buying it.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's true. And so, wow, nutrition, I just caught up with Shelby not too long ago, and Shelby was talking about, she was like, it's going to come to a point where we're not even really going to know what we're eating. And I said,
I
You're
agree.
right. You are so right. Now, so that's one passion, getting back into the gym, knowing what you eat. Do you have any more passions?
Well, my other passions is honestly, just building around me, building the relationships that I have, and always just trying to learn more. I think even education doesn't always have to be academic. Even
Mhm,
I've started like reading more books about finances and
mhm.
prepping myself because right now I'm still at home with my parents because hey, rent is high. So I'm still
Yeah.
so I'm still trying to like build up my savings so when I do leave, I'm in a better position.
Mhm.
And reading has been one thing that I feel is helped me a lot. I at first I was doing a lot of academics, so I was like, I'm gonna read this textbook and go read another book. I ain't doing that. So
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
that I've had a little more free time, I've been looking into different books. Taking time aside to just calm my mind because it's a very common thing too to just sit
Mhm.
there and have that peace and just lock into something and reading, and you kind of lose yourself in books too. You
Mhm.
do.
You
Time,
do.
time will fly, and you will, and
I will.
it will. And I feel like everybody can find a book that they enjoy. Because when you just say, "Oh, you should read more," some people kind of turn their heads up at it or frown their face up at it. But you will find it's millions of books out there. You're gonna find a book that you enjoy and that you like, and that's gonna segue you into more books and getting into different genres.
That's true. I'm more of a nonfiction reader, but I had
Mhm.
to really like get into fictional and I needed
I'm the same way.
lightheartedness. Yeah, I was hitting it hard with the nonfiction. And then
Mhm.
I just said, okay, when I was pregnant, during my pregnancy, I really had to do like feel good, lighthearted reads. And I had to download Kindle Unlimited because I was going through some books. I just got
Okay.
so engulfed. And then the next day, and I was like, this is just amazing. Like, this is a really cool way to kind of take your mind off of all
Yeah.
this other stuff and you worrying, because as you know, when you're pregnant, most times you worry about like, is the baby healthy? The baby healthy? That's kind of like always in the back of your head. But that reading really did help. And you're right, it helps you go to another place.
Yeah.
There's some good documentaries on Netflix about finance. I've watched a few of
Yeah,
them.
they do.
You got to tap into your finances.
Especially in this economy.
You do. You need to tap. You don't. You need to tap
Tap,
into and
tap,
tap dance
tap,
on them.
tap. Oh my
You do.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. And you touched on building relationships. That is another thing that I really do enjoy about you. You're a great relationship builder and a communicator. And what I do know is that you have a healthy family dynamic.
Mhm.
So can you talk to me about just some positive things that you and your family do to continue with this healthy family dynamic that you have?
Well, one recent thing. So we have this family chat. Now, last year we did matching PJs for Christmas. And this year I told them we gonna up the ante. We gonna do a photo shoot. Okay. So I'm so I sent them some links. I said which ones y'all like. We're gonna take a vote, family vote, family vote. And they voted on what they wanted. I said, y'all gonna get them by the 18th of November. Okay, we're gonna get them by then. And then our photo shoot is gonna be that next week. So we gotta be ready. We gotta be ready because I want the I want the pictures to be ready when Christmas comes. Okay. I'm gonna love that. I love it so much. So that's one thing that we're doing. And then we have game nights too, because all of us have pretty busy schedules. My parents are working. My sister, she just went away to college. She's still in state though. And then my other little sister, she's in high school. So she's going through her high school, phenomenon. And then I'm working. always out. They say you're rarely home. So we got to make time for each other. So that's one thing that we do. We always try to make time. So even if it's a day out the week where we say, okay, we're going to do something together, whether it's game night, go out to the movies, eat dinner together, we just want to make sure that we always have that bond where we sit down and we talk and we catch up, because everybody has a busy life. But you want to make sure that the people that you love, you're always in that constant communication and you're constantly, building on that bond, because we've known each other all our lives, but you can always learn more about somebody, even if it's your own family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have had the pleasure of working with Layla too, your
Mm-hmm.
younger sister.
Yeah.
She's the middle sister. And I can say that your role as a big sister is so refreshing. You take honor in being a big sister, and you have really set really good examples for your younger sisters to follow. And big shoes, by the way. I'm pretty sure your mom and dad let them know. Okay, Amber did this. Okay, we got to keep pushing. We got to
Size
keep going.
18.
Size 18. Some big shoes.
Those some big shoes. Okay, got the stompers.
How do you feel? How do you, what's your perspective on your role as a big sister?
I feel like that was my first leadership role that set me up for everything else that comes into play in my life. It's kind of difficult at first because you don't realize at like a really young age, because my sister was born when I was 4. So it's like at that young age, it's like you got to protect your little sister. Even though you're a little kid, you do too. And it's like anything that affected her affected me. So I always just wanted to make sure that they were both okay. And I had my experiences with Layla where I was able to build on being that big sister and showing her, because the things I went through, now I can show her the way, what I've learned. So now that I've had that bond built with Layla, and then Destiny comes in, now I'm even more prepared. And now she can take what I've taught her as well and, put that on Destiny, because now she's a big sister. So she has those tools already to be a leader as well. So, that was my first leadership role. That's the way I look at it. And I love that they still come to me and ask me questions, because, sometimes kids would rather go to their older siblings than their parents.
I agree.
Yeah. So, Layla will call me while she at college. My roommate, she getting on my nerves. Like, what should I do? Does this sound right? Does this email sound right? Does this sound professional? Da 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 da. Like, yeah, she'll call me. She'll ask me things. Destiny, she come knock on my door and come right in and talk to me about anything. So I really love it when they open up to me and they ask for advice. And, that just shows me that they trust the things that I tell them, and they trust my guidance. And I like that, because that shows that I'm doing a good job too. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And Layla, wow, she's an observer. She will just observe. She will just take notes and observe. And you never know what Layla's thinking.
What you say when she look over them glasses?
She looks over those glasses. She does this. I'm like, okay, let me put, even as the teacher student relationship, when she does it to me, I'm like, okay, let me go sit down. Layla has said something, and I've heard her just by this. But she's fantastic, though. I just go, y'all are just some fantastic ladies, and I'm just so blessed to.
And Destiny's trying to, come right along with us too. Because even when she would come to our events that we had, she's like, I want to join. Like, she was gonna be right up there too. The whole trio.
That's it. I mean, your parents have done such a fantastic job with y'all. I mean, I love to see it. As we're talking about relationships, also I gotta talk about how I love that you're always present in the moment. You know how to put the phone down. You know how to be present, have an engaging conversation. Um, Tell me your outlook on that, because you definitely you definitely, it comes naturally. So tell me your outlook on being present.
I just noticed, like, as I get older, and I think technology has always been implemented in my life. Um, People rely heavily on that. And that's something
Mhm.
like, I could never really just get with. Because if I'm having a conversation with someone, it's supposed to be a back and forth, always a back and forth. I bounce off what you say,
Mhm.
you bounce off what I say. And
Mhm.
I love when I have conversations with someone where we just flow. We just flow. It should be easy and just keep going. And I'm very good at keeping the conversation going, but it's super hard when that other person can't, you know, be on that same level with me, because it's the social media, it's the text messaging. That's like one of people's main forms of communication, text message.
Mhm.
In real life, you can't edit anything. In real life, you can't just sit there and ponder on something when you're having a conversation and just stop me like, oh, I'll respond later. Like, you can't do that. You gotta talk here in the now. And that's why I'm just like, I can communicate on the phone all I want. I could text, I can, you
Mhm.
know, get on FaceTime, DM, social media, all that. But that's not who I am, and I don't depend on that, because if somebody wants to walk up to me and have a conversation, just like us sitting here talking, it's not hard to do. And
Mhm.
I've always tried to force myself to stay within that, because I never want to get into a place where I just need my phone in order to talk to anyone, in order to have a conversation with anyone, because I feel like a lot of people hide behind those screens and they're able to just, wait and like, oh, should I say this or should I say that? Or no, just talk, just have a conversation, be free, be
Mhm.
natural.
Be free and be natural. You know what? I have never had a boring conversation with you ever. And
Mhm.
we would see each other back to back to back in the summertime. And every day we had something to kiki about.
Something to key about.
We had something to kiki about. And you know what? You could kiki with anybody,
I
you
can.
know. Um, you know how to be present. And that is just something that I just love about you. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna get us some good conversation in.
We
We're
do.
gonna get some good nuggets, some
And I
good
love a good laugh
one-liners.
too. Like, I just love to joke. I love to laugh. I feel like that does loosen people up too when you do
Mhm.
that. Because I feel like people just be scared. Like, I don't know what you be scared of. What are you scared of?
What are you scared of? Let's see who you are.
Let's
That's
see.
right. That's right.
Let's
And
delve deep.
right. And I do, when I'm with you, I do increase my laugh meter count. Like hey, look, laughing is good for the soul, and
Mhm.
we gonna get us some good laughs.
We are.
We're gonna definitely do that. So, there's something else that you touched on with your leadership roles,
Mhm.
and immediately, I met you in the summer, and I say after that summer internship, I definitely knew, based off of the few short weeks that I work with you, I was like, this girl is a leader. This student, she got it going on. Natural born leader. What is your perspective on being a leader?
You know, like I was telling you before, it's just, I don't want to sound like I'm too my own horn, but it kind of comes
You
naturally.
do it.
It comes naturally. Like I told you, when I was writing my resume and I was just putting down all my experiences, I would just notice, like, it'll say lead. it would say manager, it would say supervisor. And I didn't notice this pattern until I actually started, writing everything. And I don't think I'm ever that person that would just be like, I got to be in charge. I have to do this. But it would just happen. It would just happen. And it just felt natural to me, because I just feel like, one, I got good ideas and I could communicate those ideas. And I'm very understanding too. And I love to listen to people, because in order to be a leader, you have to listen to the people that you're trying to lead. Because first of all, you need to know your audience. What y'all tell us in the museum, know your audience, know who you're talking to. Just like you tell us, you have to switch up the way that you teach depending on who you're talking to, because everybody has a learning style. And that's one thing I learned throughout the years, is that you have to be aware when you are leading people, and that's how people will gravitate towards you. As long as you are genuine and you're sure of yourself, then it's gonna happen. And that's how I felt about it. I was like, okay, this is cool. It was in me. It wasn't on me, it was in me.
I love it. It wasn't on, it was in.
It was in.
I love that. See, we're going to get some one-liners. You're right. That is something that I've noticed that is so infectious. And I've seen your leadership style, and it's more or less like you lead by setting examples. You're going to lead by doing. You're not going to tell someone to do this and you don't do it. You're going to do it too. So it's not like do as I say, it's do as I do.
And that's how you should always. Because I mean, if it's a do as I say, they're not going to take you serious. Nobody's going to take you serious because you don't even stand on what you say.
That's the T on that.
That's
it. That's the T on that. Wow. So what are some life concepts that you are, or some life mantras that you're learning as a young adult that you're living by?
The main one that I live by is being true to who you are and being true to yourself. You go throughout life, especially when you're younger, I think people become very dependent, and they like to compare themselves to others, either people in their peer group or people they see on social media, whatever. Comparison is miserable because you would think, okay, I should be at this point in my life because this person's at this point. I'm 24, they're 24, and they're making this much money and they're doing this. Why am I not? That's not that they shouldn't be your focus. You focus on yourself and you have to build within. Keep building, keep pursuing your passions, keep working hard and stay disciplined, and you're going to get to that point that you always have set out to be. You can't deviate just because somebody's process was expedited and yours wasn't. Ooh. So not the ooh. You just can't gauge it off of others. Everybody is their own person and their own individual. Some people were born with advantages and some weren't. And that's not, you can't change the cards you were dealt, but what you can do is change how you play. So you can't, you are getting me weak, Tanita. But that's one thing that I had learned as I went through was like, even my best friend, she's doing her own thing in law school. So proud of her. And I'm doing my thing. She didn't take a gap year, but just because she didn't take a gap year don't mean I ain't. Okay. I'm still going to do what I need to do and enjoy myself while I'm doing it. And as long as you are who you are and you're true to yourself, the people that need to be around will be around. And you will still be happy because you did what Amber wanted to do. You didn't do what Tim, John, Maria, you didn't do what none of them wanted to do. You did it for you.
That is so true. You're right. And you know what's ahead of you. You're going to be going to medical school. You are going to be in the trenches of just so much, and this is a good gap year. But not only that, you're working inside of your field. I mean, you're working in the medical profession.
Mhm.
So you're still kind of staying close to it, and you're still, working on those processes that you will be able to implement as a medical doctor.
Mhm.
Um, wow. So many good nuggets, Amber. I'm over you.
This was good. This was really fun. Like, it even helped me realize a lot too while we were talking. I love it.
Yeah, so many. Okay, so let's do this. I say a word and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind when I say it.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Family.
Heart.
Doctor.
Compassion.
Education.
Adaptation.
Friendship.
Comfort.
Social media.
Toxic.
Passion.
Drive.
Awesome. Okay. Social media toxic. I love it. So what do you this will be my last question to you. What do you look forward to in the future?
Well, one, the main thing is finally having that MD attached to my name.
Mhm.
That is like the main agenda right now. Like, get in my white coat and walking across that stage. Woo! I'm a bust into tears.
I want pictures on pictures on pictures. If I'm not able to get to this graduation, you just flood it. You
I
just flood
will.
me, and
I
I'm be like,
will.
okay, I'm sending flowers to you, mom and daddy. Because hey, I am.
I know I ain't even I've only been on part of the road, but I know it's gonna get a lot more bumpy. So it's just like I'm excited for it. I think I'm prepared as much as I can be, because
Mhm.
you never know what the future gonna hold, but I'm definitely excited for that. I'm also excited for my hair journey. I am. I'm
Me
excited
too.
for it.
Mhm.
Starting locks was a very difficult process, because I was like, I don't know if I want to lock my hair and commit to it, because it is a commitment. Because once
Mhm.
once you lock and that hair starts to intertwine, you are
You're
there.
there.
So I did a lot of research and I looked into it, and I'm like, this is something I want to do. It's not only like a physical journey, but it's a spiritual journey as well.
Mhm.
And I love the way that they're starting to form, and it feels
Mhm.
good. Having locks, even though you are committing, you feel free. You feel free with them. And I
Mhm.
love it so much. So I can't wait as, years go on, they get longer, they start taking their shape, they start doing what they want to do. I'm excited for it because I've always been like a natural hair girly. So,
Mhm.
going into my lock journey, it's just another process in that hair journey that I'm taking. So I'm very excited for that.
Yes, and let me tell you, I mean, I admire your natural girly vibes. I mean, I look forward to when you would come. I was like, I don't know how Amber's hair gonna look today, but I'm ready for it. It's gonna be a flat twist out, it's gonna be a braid out, it's gonna be a bantu knot, it's gonna be some braids. I am
Yes.
here for all of it, and you are so right. Having locks, I wore them for 10 years and it is very liberating.
Mhm.
And I will be stepping back into that very soon.
Yes.
So,
Love
I'm
it.
excited for you. And you get that white coat and that mane is just gonna be boom, boom, boom. Yes.
No,
So
I'm so
it's gonna be
excited.
fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
you're just gonna be showing out for all of us, and we're just gonna really be excited.
Mhm.
So we have learned so much about Amber. As I knew, she would continue to be fantastic and persevere and still a leader and pushing through. MCAT soon, future doctor. So excited for you, Amber. Please keep me up to date.
I will.
We're going to have to catch up some more.
Okay. I'm glad to see you soon. Like,
right? You're going to have to see
yesterday.
the little one. Yes. And I must say that this is, thank you so much for all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click that like button. And this is Catching Up with Amber.
Thank you, TT.
All right.